What's going on, world? Brand new episode of Royal Key there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill, and we're here at the Jake with Coach Martin. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Explain the Jake. Why is it called the Jake?
Yeah, well, the Jake is for Peter Jacobson. Peter's been a great friend of mine and a great friend of Oregon. He played here and has kind of been the front and center of Oregon golf and Oregon athletics for a long time as well. And just with his success and his personality. And so he has given back to Oregon in amazing ways. And we felt like this was a time to really honor him and create a facility in his name. And we're thrilled to have it, and it's turned out great.
The thing that I love about the Jakes, there's no wasted space. Everyone has something to do, like in every little corner, right?
Yeah, so you come in and the first thing you get here, the PUTTVIEW studio, which is just mainly designed around your stroke, and the blinds come down, it gets dark, and then the lights project down from the top down to the ground, so you can actually see arcs and breaks on, from the top, and it's been a huge hit. It's been so good that we kind of probably wish we would have made it even a little bigger.
What went into the thought process of getting that specific technology for the Jake?
There's been a lot of technology in the last 10 years in golf, and we felt like the PUTTVIEW system was great for what we wanted to do, and then also having the Sam Putt Lab right around the corner here. I mean, that's been a pretty amazing piece of equipment and tells you everything you do in your stroke and cuts through some of the mystery of putting.
As we continue to go through the technology of this space, describe a day in the life of just Oregon golf.
So we have kind of two distinct days. One day is when we play. And so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're on the golf course, we're playing. So we're not going to utilize this facility on those days. But our practice days as a team are Tuesday, Thursday, and then on the weekends. The kids just kind of congregate here with the weather's crummy. A lot of times they're in here working on our game a little bit.
Let's actually go in here.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a little room to the side. What is this utilized for?
Well, this is probably our premier room and swing catalyst room, and has the force plates and has about 8 cameras, even one right above. So this is really where the bulk of the teaching of if you're really breaking down your swing, getting through the cobweb, so to speak, this can really help. And so this is the only room that's enclosed. So if you got to do some hardcore teaching and get quiet, this is where it happens. Obviously these bays open up and hit down the range. It's not like you're going to be inside the whole time. The kids come in, hit a little bit, check their numbers, go back out.
We know in this region, precipitation is like a thing, right? Like all the time. So how has this been so impactful for that? And what were you guys doing beforehand? And how the weather impacted that?
February, March, not awesome, right? It gets wet. And so this facility solves a huge problem. On those really rainy days, you're protected. Golf isn't drudgery on those days. So we not only have the indoor facility, but around the whole rim is a covered mat too with heaters. So you can be outside if it's not too cold and really get everything done. Before this, we were outside. We had a tarp, but it was pretty much you were exposed to it. And so fortunately the Oregon winters, they're not extreme. They're wet and they're dark, but they're not super cold, or it doesn't rain all the time. So we're prepared now with this. And like I said, more than anything, the morale of the guys on those rainy days, it's not a day off anymore. It's like, hey, let's go to the Jake. We'll have fun doing stuff inside.
Have you guys went through a full 4 seasons yet here at the Jake?
Not yet, where this is the final season. So we got it at the end of fall last year. And so we had it in time for winter. And what we noticed is that on those winter days, I mean, it's 45, 50 degrees. It's not 10 degrees, right? But even if we were to get a really cold storm, these heaters up here really create a little bubble in here that's protected from the wind. So my guys actually kind of gravitated to these stalls because it's protected from the breeze and felt like it was warmer outside with the heaters than inside when they let the gates open, so to speak. So, but we're all learning. I mean, typically there's just guys all around here. They kind of warm up here on the mats. We predominantly hit off grass. Mats are great, but you don't want to hit on a mat the whole time.
Speaking of the field, what type of grass is utilized out here?
The Willamette Valley is the leading grower of bent grass and whatnot. But what's ironic is Poana sort of takes over. So the grass here is planted bent and some rye, but it ends up having a mix of all three, POA, bent, and rye kind of mixed in.
How do you guys go through just a typical day in the Jake?
You know, first and foremost, a lot of our ladies that come here and play at Oregon, you know, they really have their personal golf instructors that they work with at home. So from a technique standpoint, we really love building a relationship with those coaches and staying in touch to help ensure that they're working on the right things technique-wise. An area that we really like to focus on is how well do you manage your game? And so for us, that's where technology can play a big role in this. Carry distances is a really big thing here. So that's what we really tend to focus on a lot. We talk about the difference of, you know, even just 1 yard, 3 feet can be the difference of making a birdie putt or not. Here in Eugene, we're at about 400 feet elevation. And then typically throughout the year, you know, roughly about 50 to 60 degrees on average. And we tend to go play a lot of tournaments outside of Oregon. And as you know, golf is an outdoor sport. So that's where this area that we can utilize to actually set TRACKMAN to the elevation and temperature that we're gonna go play and compete at. So that way our ladies know exactly how far they carry the golf ball before we even step foot on the airplane.
Coach Martin talked about PUTTVIEW. We're here talking about TRACKMAN. How do you guys utilize it as far as the women's program?
Yeah, so TRACKMAN is fantastic. You know, the technology came out years ago. All the pros mainly have some sort of tracking device now. And so, you know, for us, we really use it on a daily basis in practice. That way every shot, you know, our ladies are hitting is tracked, and they know, you know, spin rates, carry distance. They know if they're getting faster in their club head speed or if we're slowing down a little bit. You know, we always bring 1 or 2 on the road with us when we travel to tournaments to ensure just that, you know, their balance of their game is in check and they can be confident in their ability. These golf balls from Titleist are fantastic. So these actually are made for tracking devices. So we specially ordered them and then we'll get them in either Titleist red or black. You know, our ducks can come in and start hitting some shots. They can definitely pick up the differences of the elevation and how far each ball goes.
I like how, you know, you have so many different areas, stations where you can kind of work on your game, but the coziness in here, how does that go into just the lifestyle of the student athlete?
Yeah, you know, Coach Martin and I, we kind of dreamt this up. You know, we've been fortunate to both coach great players, and great players have one common theme, and that is they want to get better at golf. And so every inch of this place, we wanted to provide the opportunity for all of our student athletes to get better at golf. But also even from the couches to hang out and do your schoolwork, you know, to the kitchen to grab a bite to eat, to come in and look at the bags of the current tour players, you know, for inspiration, the trophies, you know, and the technology that we have. And so every inch of this place is really designed for the golfer to advance and get to the next level. And so we're excited when they're here, you know, and watch them grow as student athletes. And then hopefully, you know, our dream is to watch them play at the next level.
Okay, Justin, you're the perfect person to talk to about the Jake. You were part of this from like conception to fruition, right?
From dream to fruition. Yeah, I mean, this was a lot of years in the making, and even a lot of time and planning and development. But we finally got it done, and it turned out better than we could expect.
What went into the creation of this? I know a lot of people were involved, a lot of families. What went into, you know, everything that happened here at the Jake?
Casey has been such a good steward of this program for so long, and he's always had this dream of, you know, we live in a place where it rains a lot, and how do you give our men and women on the golf programs a place where they can call home in those wet winter months and still continue to work on their games? But many conversations with a lot of different people. You know, we're lucky to have a golf course owner like Jim Pliska, another steward of the program like Peter Jacobson, who helped us imagine what this could be. And then, you know, all the way to 130 families that contributed towards making this happen. So it's been a really cool process, and it turned out, like I said, better than expected.
Justin, we have a little topography going on here. What's the idea here?
One of the things that we wanted to do when we first entered the facility is capture part of our history of Oregon golf. And so the topography is the old #1 green at Eugene Country Club, where in 2016, the Oregon Duck men's team won the national championship. And so in addition to the topography of the green, you actually have the O sitting where the pin was when Solomon Raza made the putt on the 3rd playoff hole to win the championship. So kind of a fun way to capture Oregon's history in golf.
Sure, and then we have a few like figures up here, silhouettes, right?
Peter always wanted there to be a lot of fun and humor in the game. And so as a reminder to our kids, when they come in here, there's actually 2 hidden Mickeys up here. So one from the 1985 Open, where Peter Jacobson tackled a streaker on the 18th green. And then another one, which is called the human chain. Peter actually started his professional career at the AT&T Pebble Beach. He finished his career many years later at the AT&T Pebble Beach, but you had Clint Eastwood, Jack Lemmon, Greg Norman, and Peter Jacobson all helping each other hit a shot that was hanging out over the cliff. And so again, one of the things with the facility is when you come in here, this is still a game. It's supposed to be fun.
You being a part of it from, like you said, dream to fruition, what were some of the most challenging parts of getting this facility up and running?
You know, these things just don't happen. It took a year of planning it. Where are we going to build driving range bays? Thinking about prevailing wind, weather, how that was going to impact our student athletes as they perform here, all was part of the plan. And like I said, it came out better than we could have ever hoped for.